Hello, Healthy Kitchen, Healthy You Club. I'm back with another short Pearl video for you. This one, the topic is freezer tips. We all know that the freezer can be our best friend when we're in a rush and we want something to eat quickly and we know we can quickly defrost and add it to our meal. And here, what I'm going to talk about specifically is preparing some produce ahead of time so that it's easy to add to the meal. We're always talking about bringing in more nutrient density and color, and sometimes we run out of fresh produce, we've used it all, or we just don't really have time to get going on it, we just need to eat. And so here's what I recommend that you do is these are the top best vegetables to prepare in advance and freeze. The first two are carrots and green beans, and you want to blanch them ahead of time, so that's where you cook them, steam them lightly, and then drop them in cold water or an ice bath to stop the cooking and preserve the color and the freshness and the crispness. And then you can put them in the freezer for probably a couple weeks, maybe a little bit longer, and use them that way. You can also saute leafy greens, spinach, Swiss chard, kale, collards, mustard greens maybe. All of those are fine. So you can lightly saute them and then freeze those. And the other thing you can do is root vegetables. I'm always talking to my patients about root vegetables and how beneficial they are for your microbiome. They're a great source of soluble fiber, and they're usually good for people with any sort of digestive trouble or irritable bowel symptoms. They don't trigger that. They actually help reduce it and add softness to the stool. So that's things like kohlrabi and parsnips and rutabaga and what else am I missing? Sweet potatoes, those kinds of things. So if you want to cook those, you can roast them or you can steam them and then mash them and then store them frozen that way. And that's a great item to do because those take time. You have to cut them, prep them, cook them. So having those in advance would make it much more likely that you could add those to your meal. They're great substitutes for refined carbohydrate-rich foods. And then you can do fruits. All fruit freezes pretty well. I especially like freezing big batches like you can buy at Costco, big batches of strawberries and blueberries, and freeze those. You can cut bananas into chunks for smoothies or just break them into chunks and then store those. You can even freeze avocado in proportions that you are going to use at one time. The caveat with the banana and the avocado especially is that they will oxidize in the freezer without them being in a vacuum packed bag. So you might want to look at the site Food Saver, and they're doing some really cool stuff right now with devices you can buy at home that vacuum seal your food. So this can be cooked proteins like salmon, it can be the vegetables or the fruits. And when things are vacuum sealed and in the freezer, they last a lot longer because they don't get oxidized or freezer burned. So it's worthwhile if you're going to be doing some of this to check into that source. And they've also started using a reusable zip bag that can be vacuum sealed. So that's Food Saver. There's other sites out there for sure, but that's one to check into and get an idea of where you're headed with that. All right, happy freezing. Until later, be well.